lie. I used to believe my marriage was built on trust, the kind of bond that could withstand the storms of life. For years, I convinced myself that the late nights, the sudden change in his moods, the endless excuses were just part of his career demands. I didn't want to believe that the man I shared my home, my dreams, and my heart with could betray me. But denial only delays the inevitable. The truth was right there, waiting to be uncovered, and once I saw it, I could never unsee it. It started with little things. He became distant, distracted. Our conversations, once filled with laughter and plans for the future, dwindled down to polite exchanges. He was always on his phone, guarding it like it contained state secrets. If I walked into the room, he would tilt the screen away. I told myself not to overthink, but deep down, I already knew. My gut screamed louder with every excuse he gave. Late meeting? Business dinner? Just exhausted. Words that should have reassured me, but instead felt like bricks building a wall between us. The night I found proof was the night something inside me shattered. He had left his jacket draped over the chair, and his phone buzzed in the pocket. I never went through his things before. I believed in privacy, in trust. But my hands moved on their own, trembling as I pulled it out. The screen lit up with a message from a woman I had never met. Her words weren't ambiguous. They dripped with intimacy, compliments, promises, things he hadn't said to me in years. My chest tightened, my vision blurred, but I kept scrolling. Dozens of messages. Plans for dinners he claimed were work. Trips he said were last-minute projects. Every lie he fed me laid bare in that glowing screen. When I confronted him, I expected denial. I expected gaslighting. I expected him to at least pretend. Instead, he stared at me, then shrugged as if I had caught him doing something trivial. His words still burn in my memory. Maybe if you weren't so controlling, I wouldn't need to find someone who makes me feel free. Free. That was his excuse. As though the vows we took, the promises we made, meant nothing in the face of his so-called freedom. In that moment, I realized the man I married no longer existed. Or maybe he never did. Maybe I had been in love with an illusion. The days that followed were a blur of humiliation and heartbreak. I couldn't escape the images of him with her, laughing, touching, giving her pieces of himself that were supposed to belong to me. Nights were the worst. I would lie awake, wondering how many of those business trips had really been weekends away with her. How many times had I been the fool, waiting at home, keeping his life running while he lived a double life? The betrayal wasn't just physical, it was emotional, spiritual. It stole the foundation of who I thought I was and left me standing in the rubble of a marriage I thought was real. But even as I drowned in grief, a small flame lit inside me. Anger, not the kind that consumes, but the kind that sharpens. I knew he wanted me broken, begging, dependent. I could see the smug satisfaction in his eyes when he packed a bag and walked out, as though leaving was his ultimate victory. But he didn't know me. He didn't know what I was capable of once the fog of denial cleared. He thought he had taken everything from me, but he had only given me a reason to rise.